Hi, everybody. Brian Professor B. Davis here at the Satellite Digital Media Studios in San Francisco, here at Professor B's Candlestick Man Cave. Welcome to this edition of 49ers Live Tonight, the aftermath on Niners Radio 49. All of you just watching the wrap up of Monday Night Football, the Steelers over the New York Giants in Pittsburgh. And of course, the World Series had just concluded. I think a lot of any of you Niner fans in the Bay Area don't care. Dodgers winning 4-2. Now they have a commanding 3-0 series lead, and they're now just one more win away from winning the World Series. So this is a week the Niners going on to winning last night winning last night on Sunday Night Football. You saw on NBC by a score of 30-23. So we're gonna do first is gonna do Kyle Shanahan's presser recap today's presser. He has Monday press conference after the game. We'll recap that. Then we'll recap the game from yesterday, Niners Rams game, and then our Niners Radio 49's flashback as we continue to pay homage of the 40-year anniversary of the 49ers 1984 Super Bowl team that won the Super Bowl with a 15-1 record. We're going to go back to week number 8 when the 49ers taking on the LA Rams down in Anaheim. As the Niners coming into this game, they were 7-1 going into this game. Niners begin the day at 7-1, and the Rams are 5-3. Niners begin the day 2 games up in Week 9, 2 games up on the Rams in the NFC West, and this is an important divisional game because the Niners already have beaten both the Saints and the Falcons once, and the Niners are playing their first head-to-head against the Rams as the Niners are 7-1. They were just only 2 weeks previous, but we'll get to that. Niners this was an important game because the Niners trying to increase their lead on the Rams and try to put some distance to the rest of the divisions. We'll go into that, and we'll have so much more. So 49ers will be on their bye week this week, and now we will go to Kyle Shanahan's presser of what he did from the other day. We are going to get into that presser. We'll go into that presser, and we are going to go to that presser right now. Kyle Shanahan talking. This was from.
All right, guys. Injuries from last night. Jordan Mason he aggravated his same shoulder. We'll evaluate here after the bye. D. Winters is in the concussion protocol. Devo had a rib and an oblique strain. We'll evaluate next week after the bye. Renardo Green, ankle sprain, just day to day. Chris Conley, hamstring week to week. And that's it. Go ahead.
Kyle, do you expect to have Juwan Jennings back after the bye?
Yes, I do.
Kyle, is it also trending for Christian to be back after the bye and potentially play against the Buccaneers?
It depends how this week goes. I mean, he's had no setbacks, so it looks like we're on track. But he's going to hit it hard this week while we're gone and kind of simulate some practice stuff for himself. And as long as it all goes good, hopefully we'll get him back in practice next week.
Kyle, how hard has it been to kind of keep Christian McCaffrey restrained and not have him work too hard, making sure that his comeback is on schedule?
I mean, I think it was tough at first, when we, did it in training camp, and then felt like he was going to be ready for week 1. And then after we decided to put him on IR, I think it's been pretty easy. That's why we did decide to do that. So we knew it was going to be at least a month and shut him down for a while, and now build him up slowly. And things have been going well. So now it's going to be nice to get him back, hopefully.
And so, Kyle, the plan would be to open his window on that Monday for the bonus practice?
If everything continues going right, if he has a good week this week.
Kyle, sticking with the running backs, what did you see from Isaac Arendo, Jordan Mason yesterday?
I thought they both had a good game. JP going down early and Isaac coming in, stepping it up. I thought Patrick also did a real good job coming in for us too. It was a real good game for the running backs.
Do you feel like Isaac Arendo could be more of that receiving running back? Not comparing him to Christian, but in that similar type of role?
Yeah, I think very similar to JP also in that. No one's Christian in terms of the passing game, but neither one of them are guys that can't run routes and can't beat linebackers, and they both have good hands. So it's something that he's decent at now, and something that he should get better at as he continues to work.
And from Ricky Pearsall, did you see a steady growth of kind of improvement over the last game?
Yeah, big time. You can see it in practice. You see it really each practice with Ricky. Just because he's been so limited in his stuff, but he picks it up fast. His stamina gets better and better, and he's got a real natural feel for the game. And now it's about just getting a feel within our offense. And I think it's gotten better each week.
I don't know if you allow yourself to kind of take a step back and analyze stuff in this way, but where do you feel this team is, and how do you just feel about where you guys are 8 games in with 9 games to play as far as what this team is capable of doing?
I feel we're capable of doing everything else we set out for. I look at where our team's at and where I think our team can be, and I don't think we're there yet. I think there's a lot of things we need to improve on. I think we are gradually doing that, but I think we got the guys here capable of doing it. We just got to make sure we become a better team in the second half than we were in the first half.
With the deadline, how do you feel about special teams at the midpoint of the season? Is that something that you'll evaluate during the bye? Will you think about Brian Schneider? And are there any alternatives that a team can make on special teams midway through the season?
Yeah, we evaluate special teams every week, so there's not a lot that you're going to do a lot different in the bye. We could add one more game to what we've been evaluating throughout it all. I have no concerns with Brian Schneider, if that's what you mean by that. I think that's what you're implying, and that hasn't entered my head at all. No, that hasn't entered my head at all. I thought I was proud of us last night. I thought we were up against a huge challenge. I thought our guys played real hard and did a real good job controlling Turbin, who is one of the bigger game changers in this game. I think we've dealt with a lot of stuff on special teams, a lot of changing of people, a lot of young guys starting out to play who we've lost and having to replace them with new guys, and working with a lot of different people. And I expect us to get better with that throughout the year. I know it hasn't been good enough in this first half, not at all. But I thought last night was a step in the right direction, and you're going to get better or worse from that, and I expect us to get better.
With the injuries at wide receiver and the deadline coming up, how likely do you think it is that that's a position you'd maybe try and address?
It's not necessarily just try to address certain positions. You look at what's available that you think can help your team get better, and if there's anything out there that's available that we think can help our team get better and then meet. Yeah.
Kyle, with Chris back, that he will have ramped up and to a point where you can have his standard workload?
The expectation is to see how he is when he gets back and then evaluate him as he goes. Of course, the hope is that everything just goes back to normal and it's, perfect. But that's what we're all striving for. But You got to play that out smartly, and you got to evaluate that each day. What we see with our own eyes, what he tells us.
Kyle, the Almador Lenore has been ascending this series, leaps and bounds, grows. What can you speak about from the moment you guys had him as a rookie to how he's really like ascending into a really prominent elite high-end player?
Yeah, Demo's been a stud. He's one of exactly what you want a 49er to play like. He came in his first rookie camp and stood out. Got me fined for illegally jamming people too hard and putting it on the internet, so I always mess with him for that. Started out real well, made a couple mistakes early on as rookie, and lost his confidence just a little bit, I thought, his rookie year. Second season, when the way he came back in the off season, kind of just possessed to get that job back, and he's kind of owned it ever since. He's been a stud for a while to me, and he gets better each year, and he's having a hell of a year.
Great, more. Do you have any sense as far as Dre Greenlaw's availability and what any kind of rough time frame is for him?
No, I mean, we talk about a lot of stuff, and he's working through it, but I hate to give a rough timeline for you guys because we're not exactly sure of it. I think it's, once we get back from this bye week, I think he's going to be about week to week deciding whether we should get him back in the practice deal or not. But we'll see how this next week goes. We'll see when we get back from the bye week, and I think once it gets past the bye week, then we'll be looking each week on whether we should bring him back or not, because it is good. Go ahead, you're good.
Time for one more.
Yeah. Get it. Go.
Difficulties, talking about where the Niners go from here. They're gonna get their lift in and all that stuff, and then the team photo. I think tomorrow, right after that, and then they got a few other obligations with NFL films and NFL videos or whatever. And then after that, they are going to have their bye week. They get 5 days off. They'll have the extra practice. They'll come back 1 week from today from their bye week. They'll take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That will be week number 10. And it would be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It will be on November the 10th, right around the Veterans Day weekend. That'll be at Raymond James Stadium, and that'll be the next game for the 49ers. That will be an early game. That will be on the 10th, November 10th. Kickoff time will be at approximately kickoff time. Will, excuse me, going to be at It will be at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That will be the early game. You can catch that game on Fox. And then on the Niners Radio Network with Greg Papa and Tim Ryan. So we continue on Niners Radio 49. Now in our next segment, our 49er flashback segment, we will go back to the year 1984. And this is 1984, the 49ers in week number 9. They come into this game at 7-1, and they will give you a quick recap of what they did to get to the 7-1. Just as the Niners getting ready in 1984 of their magical season, get ready to start the second half of their 84 season. Niners are taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or the Los Angeles Rams, correction, for week number 7 of a great year. The Niners coming in. And they will play the LA Rams at Anaheim Stadium. And I'm just waiting for this to upload. Yes. As we're just waiting for this thing to go. Here we go. Wait for this thing to go. So this is the highlight. 49ers taking on the Rams, week number 9. Niners coming with a 7-1 record. The Rams are 5-3. Niners begin the day with a commanding 2-game lead for first place in the NFC West. And now we're going to go show you this Niners Radio flashback from Niners Rams, October 28th, 1984.
The second half of a shining season began in Los Angeles, where pro football's leading rusher, number 29, Eric Dickerson, was held to a mere 38 yards. Joe Montana's touchdown passes to number 33, Roger Craig, Freddie Solomon, and Dwight Clark keyed a 33-0 victory. This rout of the Rams extended the 49ers' record to 8-1. But after basking in the glow of an easy victory, they were nearly knocked off course by an ill wind, fanned by their flattest performance since losing to Pittsburgh. Against Cincinnati, Joe Montana threw a career-high...
Okay, sorry about that. Went a little bit past board. So the 49ers ended up winning that game 38-0 over the Rams. It was a divisional game, big win. We're gonna give you the look back of that game from week number 8 or week 9 as the Niners begin the start of the second half of the season of that memorable 1984 season, which was culminated of winning a Super Bowl, and that was from October 28th, 1984, the 49ers over the Los Angeles Rams. They win it 33-0, and it was played on October 28th, 1984, down at Anaheim Stadium. And the game time, kickoff time was at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The temperatures were 60 degrees, wind 7 miles per hour, and the attendance 65,481. Bob Frederick was the referee. The game was regional telecast on CBS. Tom Brookshire, play-by-play, and Wayne Walker did the commentary. So let's get to the final numbers of this game. Joe Montana, or the final stats of the game. The first downs were the Niners end up getting 472 total yards of offense to the Rams 206. Niners dominated time of possession 35 minutes and 26 seconds to the Rams 234. And then Joe Montana threw for 353 yards, 3 touchdowns. He threw 1 interception. Wendell Tyler, 23 carries, 108 yards. Dwight Clark, or a correction. Oh, whoa. Wrong one. My bad. Correction. Here we go. So we got that was from the previous week. So the Niners came in there after going into week 9, bouncing back after that loss to the Steelers 2 weeks earlier. They beat the Oilers down at the Astrodome. They beat the Rams 38-0. Montana in that game, 365 yards, 3 touchdown passes. Wendell Tyler only had 27 yards rushing. Freddie Solomon, 6 catches for 94 yards. And then Jeff Kemp, of course, who played 1 season with the 49ers, he threw for 180 yards, 2 interceptions. The Niners shut down Eric Dickerson, held him to only just 38 yards on 13 carries. Henry Ellard, 4 receptions for 91 yards. And the Niners end up getting 472 total yards of offense to the Rams 206, 35 minutes and 34 seconds in this contest. So the Niners continue to take care of business at late October, as the Niners continuing to just dominate. And the Niners, with that victory, improved their record now to 8-1, while the Rams dropped to 5-4, meaning the Niners now have a commanding 3-game lead in first place in the NFC West, which they end up Niners having a 3-game lead. We now are going to take a look at week number 8 of the 1984 NFL scoreboard. Take a look at week number 9 around the National Football League in scoreboard. The Patriots over the New York Jets, 30-24. Pat Ryan threw for it was Tony Eason ended up throwing 273 yards and a touchdown. Freeman McNeil rushed for 110 yards on 17 carries. Craig James, 10 carries for 79 yards and a touchdown. And Lake Dawson, 5 catches for 56 yards. Lamb Jones for the Jets, 9 catches for 95 yards. Both the Jets and Patriots are tied for second in the AFC East. Both identical records of 6-3. The Cincinnati Bengals with a win over the Houston Oilers as 31-13, as the Bengals pick up their 3rd win of the season. They hand the Oilers their 9th straight loss. Bengals go to 3-6. Houston falls to 0-9. The Dallas Cowboys beat the Indianapolis Colts 22-3. Danny White threw for 262 yards and 2 touchdown passes. Tony Dorsett, 24 carries for 104 yards. Tony Hill, the former Stanford star, 8 catches for 125 yards and a touchdown. The Colts fall to 3-6. The Dallas Cowboys go to 6-3. The Green Bay Packers all over the Detroit Lions, 41-9. Len Dickey threw for 248 yards. He threw 4 touchdown passes in that game. As the Packers improve to 2-7, the Lions fall to 3-6. The 2 bottom feeders of the NFC Central. The Chicago Bears with a 16-7 win over the Minnesota Vikings, as the Bears, who would be the Niners' opponent in the NFC Championship, go to 6-3. Vikings fall to 2-7. The New Orleans Saints over the Cleveland Browns at Cleveland Stadium, 16-14. As the Saints go to 4-5, the Browns go to 1-8. The St. Louis Cardinals over the Philadelphia Eagles at Veterans Stadium in Philly, 34-14. Neil Lomax threw for 286 yards, an interception, 2 touchdown passes. Ron Jaworski threw for 340 yards, but he threw 3 interceptions. He threw 2 touchdowns. As Yep, and so that means with the win, the Cardinals improve to 6-3, while the Eagles fall to 4-5. Kansas City Chiefs over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 20-14. Former 49er Steve DeBerg threw for 280 yards, 3 interceptions to 2 touchdowns. Tampa goes to 3-6. The Chiefs go to 5-4. The New York Giants over the Redskins, 37-13. Joe Theismann threw for 255 yards and a touchdown. Phil Simms, 339 yards and threw 2 touchdown passes. As Ernest Gray led the Giants with 7 catches, 128 yards, and former 49er Jeff Moore, 9 catches for 75 yards. The New York Giants and the Washington Redskins are both dead even, tied with identical record at 5-4. They both trailed 1 game by the Cowboys in the NFC West. And then it was the Pittsburgh Steelers over the Atlanta Falcons, 35-10, as Frank 14 rushes for 111 yards and a touchdown. And then Gerald Riggs had 25 carries for 80 yards. Falcons fall to 3-6. Steelers improve to 5-4. Then it was the Miami Dolphins continuing their mastery over the Buffalo Bills, 38-7 down at the Orange Bowl, as Dan Marino threw for 282 yards. He threw 3 interceptions, threw 3 touchdown passes. Mark Duper, 5 catches for 74 yards. So with the loss, the Bills fall to 0-9, while the Dolphins improved to 9-0 with the best record in all of football as the second half of the season continues. And then it was the Denver Broncos over the LA Raiders, 22-19 in overtime. Mark Wilson threw for 252 yards in the losing effort and a touchdown, 3 interceptions. Sammy Weiner, 34 carries for 126 yards. Marcus Allen, he rushed for 70 yards, a touchdown, and he had 6 carries for 63 yards and a touchdown. So now in the losing effort, Broncos now go to 8-1. The Raiders go to 7-2. And then on Monday Night Football, the Seattle Seahawks shut out the Chargers, the high explosive Chargers, 24-0. Dave Craig threw for 282 yards. He threw 3 touchdowns and an interception. Dan Fouts threw for only 200 yards, and he's thrown for interception. So the Seahawks fall to 7. Good, they improved to 7-2. The Chargers dropped to 4. A recap of week number 8, well, week 9, I should say, and it's presented by NFL Scores Week. So the Niners continue the roll. They start the second half with their record going to 8-1. They now have a commanding 3-game lead over the Rams, and they have a 4-game lead over the Falcons. States in the NFC West. So you could see right now the 49ers getting ready to prepare as the Niners now have a comfortable, commanding 3-game lead in the NFC West, and the Niners starting to really are now with their victory have already swept their first round of divisional rivals, divisional opponents. The first round they've now played the teams once already, so they now have a commanding 3-game lead and put themselves in great shape to start the second half, push towards the road to Palo Alto, and the Niners again have a 3-game lead over the Rams and then 4 on the rest of the division, and the Niners are trying to that they begin to really starting to put some distance on the rest of the division. So there you have it on that. We will now check out the Niners recap from Sunday night, and we're just going to do it real quickly. We should have done this first, but Niners win 30-24 on Sunday Night Football, and we're not able to get that box score online, so I will have to go on my app. Take a look. 1 second. So total plays: Niners 64, Cowboys 59. Niners ended up getting 469 yards of offense to the Cowboys 92. Niners were penalized 9 times, while the Cowboys penalized for only 6. Dallas had Niners forced 2 Cowboy turnovers. The Niners were converted 3 of 8 third down efficiencies, and time of possession 19 minutes and 92 seconds to Dallas, 16 minutes and 8 seconds. So then the player stats: Brock Purdy threw for 260 yards and a touchdown. Isaac Granato, 14 carries, 85 yards. George Kittle, 6 catches for 128 yards and a touchdown. Dak Prescott threw for 243 yards, 2 touchdowns. Ezekiel Elliott, 10 carries for 34 yards. CeeDee Lamb, 13 carries for 164 yards. So So George Kittle now is ranked. He passes up Dwight Clark. He now moves in third place for all time in 49ers franchise history for most receiving yards. Only Jerry Rice and Terrell Owens have more. There's a good chance that Kittle will ultimately pass up T.O. So that's going to be a wrap for tonight on 49ers Live. I'd like to thank for all of you watching at the Satellite Digital Media Studios here at this beautiful Candlestick Man Cave in San Francisco. Niners with a big win over the Dallas Cowboys. And before we go, we forgot to do the night. That's right, we did that already. So we'll get ready to wrap it up for tonight. Niners beating the Rams in Week 9 back in 1984. They now have a 3-game lead over the Rams in the NFC West. And later next week, on our 49 Flashback, we'll continue to do our series on the 40-year anniversary of the 49ers Super Bowl season. We will go back to week number 10 when the Niners taking on the Cincinnati Bengals at Candlestick next week. And then tomorrow, as we continue to pay homage to the 35-year anniversary of the 49ers winning back-to-back Super Bowls, we will take a look back at week number, I believe, 8, when the Niners take on the New York Jets at the Meadowlands. And then later in the week, we'll take a look back. The Niners were off that week. They had their bye week, and then that's that. So, hope you enjoyed this podcast tonight. Professor B here at the Satellite Digital Media Studios here at the Candlestick Man Cave in San Francisco. Thank you for joining us tonight. As always, be safe out there, and just you're watching 49ers Live tonight. The Aftermath with Professor B, Victory Monday, the Aftermath Victory Monday with yours truly, the Professor, on Niners Radio 49. And a reminder, I believe tomorrow or later this week, we will upload we'll have another edition of 49ers Live tomorrow, and we're trying to see if we could play the whole episode of 49ers Tailgate as well. So, hope you enjoy us, and check us out, as always, youtube.com/@Niners Radio 49. Please click the subscribe button. Our mission is to reach to 1,000 viewers. Thank you very much. 49ers Live tonight, the Aftermath, Victory Monday, with yours truly, is in association with Satellite Digital Media News Network, where every team has a fan, and every fan has a voice, the network home of champions. Have a pleasant good night, everybody. Take care.